country music currently has all the limelight in mainstream music. We're seeing so many people release top charting country records. We're seeing Post Malone, Luke Combs, Shaboozey, Kelsey Ballerini. All these people make really, really good versions of country that feel like pop songs, but have country elements. And it's something that we've never really covered on this channel before. So in this video today, I want to show you how to make a modern country song in the style of people like Post Malone, Shaboozey, Luke Combs, Bailey Zimmerman, any of those kind of like new country, not quite stadium country, but rock elements, pop elements, country elements. And by the end of the video, you should be able to dive in and make yourself a summer country banger. So let's go ahead and let's dive in. But before we do, my name is Austin. You're watching Make Pop Music. If you like this video, please make sure that you like it and leave a comment down below. We do videos like this every single Friday, so make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss next week's. Other than that, if you want to support us after the video, head over to our website, makepopmusic.com. We have sample packs, preset packs, courses, free products, all kinds of really, really cool stuff over there. But let's dive in and let's take a look at this song. So for country, the first thing that I want to do is actually start with some kind of acoustic guitar. So I have a little Taylor 214 CE right here, and I'll write it and then track it off of camera. But I'm thinking we have a capo on 2, so maybe just like a... something like that. Nice little chord progression, super simple. I'm gonna track that up on my actual tracking chain, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. I went ahead and double tracked it, and we have one pan 70% left and one pan 70% right. Together, they sound like this. This is just my guitar going into my mic chain, so the Loudon Audio Eden, the Rupert Neve Newton channel strip, and then an 1176 and an LA2A. So let's go ahead and hear what these sound like with absolutely nothing on them. They're super clean. I like my acoustic guitar tracked about a foot away. I did a whole video on recording acoustic guitar, so check that out so we don't have to spend too much time on it. But in terms of mixing this, I'm going to do something pretty straightforward. So there's a new plugin for Make Believe that actually just came out today. Not sponsored or anything, but I got to beta test it. Maybe you'll see some presets in there from me very, very soon if they're not already there. But this is basically a channel strip, which kind of does everything I need for acoustic guitar. So we're doing a little bit like a half dB boost at 10K. We're actually doing like a 2.5 dB cut at around 2.5K. And then we're doing a 5 dB cut of just kind of like a low filter. And then we also have the compressor engaged right here, medium attack, fast release, depth and threshold are just making sure that it's touching it. There it is on the left side. When I engage it on both, it just kind of clears up some of that muddy low end. So that feels pretty good for now. That's kind of going to be the big motif for the verse. Let's go ahead and let's start adding some drums on top of here. For the main drums, I'm actually just going to use these one-shots that I have from a kit called Country Hits. I believe it's by a friend of the channel, Austin Sean. So I'll try to link that if anybody wants these, but here's the kick. Here's the snare. And then I also went ahead and routed this out. And what I'm doing is basically just processing the kick and the snare with an instance of Verb Suite. For the snare, it's at like 920 milliseconds. Kick room is a bit shorter, I believe. We are at 778 milliseconds. And then just do a little bit of EQ. But when you play those together, it allows you to kind of recreate that room sound. So I'm going to lay down some drums. So the one-shot pack has cymbals. However, I like my cymbals super, super round robin for something like this. I want it to feel like a real kit. So I'm still using those shells from that Country Hits pack, but I'm actually using cymbals from the Gojira kit right here from Mixwave. Mixwave has been like my go-to for kits. It's definitely very rocky in terms of like shells. So I'm really only using the toms and the cymbals, but when I pop both of those together, we get this. Let's add a bass. I'm going to go ahead and just add in like a Rickenbacker bass from Contact. So here's what the bass looks like. I just have it on the Tweedman setting. This bass actually sounds so good for like country music like this. And I'm just using the palm mute version, and we're just doing a little bit of limiting and a little bit of EQ. It's just kind of cleaning up some of those mids. So that's feeling pretty good. I want to go ahead and flesh out this verse with like maybe some lap steel and some secondary guitars that can make it feel a little bit bigger. What I wanted to do for guitar was add some kind of like electric guitar that kind of does like a lap steel thing. So it sounds like this. It's just my Fender Strat. What I'm doing to kind of give myself that lap steel sound is compressing it a lot and taking away quite a bit of transient. And then using something like Devil Lock to really even get it even more compressed. That gives you that sustain that you would hear in like a slide guitar or a lap steel. And then I just found this preset, Dawn Shores, kind of gives me the vibe I want. And then just a little bit of EQ, kind of band passing. And it doesn't sound exactly like a lap steel, but it's definitely the vibe. And then we just have these crunchy palm mute guitars. For that, I'm using Guitar Rig. I know last video I talked so much about how I like neural DSP stuff. Still great. For some reason, this just has such good like country Americana tones. So I'm just using this Blues Fuzz preset with a couple little tweaks. And then I just have a double track right and left guitar. And then I wanted to make it super country, so I just found some kind of like steel guitar one-shot little loops out of Splice. And honestly, that'll probably do it for the verse. I'll arrange it a little bit more later, but let's go ahead and move on to the pre-chorus. For the pre-chorus, I want to do a little bit of a chord change. So we've been doing the... I think for the pre-chorus, let's try something more like this. Let's do... something like that, maybe like a... Let's try that. So here's what we have for this riff. Again, I'm using that MBSI to do most of my stuff. So we have it on the mic, so it's flat. Basically same settings as our last guitar. But for this one, I wanted it to feel a little bit smaller. So we're doing some band passing to kind of give it that telephonic effect. And I have these 80% left and right. So it's really cool. I want to layer over some high strums on that. I did some high strums. A lot of the time when I work with acoustic guitar, what I'll do is I'll have little individual tracks where I can do things like the MBSI and like small processing, and then I'll have it sent to an actual group or a bus so I can do any kind of big macro processing here. So you can see that I do some pretty gnarly EQ moves. That's just to make sure that it'll sit in the mix. If I took all that off, just basically giving me a mid boost, especially in this right here. We've got some mids instead of cutting it, we're boosting it, we're adding quite a bit of air, we're adding a ton of low end here. So before, when we were cutting all the low end out of those finger picks parts, we're adding some of that back in now so it feels a little bit thicker. So let's hear this. Let's go ahead and get some drums working. So I kind of want to do like a 4 on the floor thing. Maybe we play that with like some like toms. Let's go ahead and program something real quick. Here's what we did for the drums. Here is all of the MIDI. So it's definitely giving us a little bit of a rise. Let's go ahead and just add in the root notes on this palm mute bass. And now the palm mute bass is cool. It fills it out a lot. But I kind of want some electric guitar in there, just doing a little bit of a counter melody. Maybe we have this like little lap steel vibe going. And then I kind of want to put more of like a little slappy Western lick in there. So here's the 2 licks that I want to show you. I have this little Western lick. Here I actually am using the Tone King. So I'm using their Neural DSP Tone King Imperial. A little bit of compression, little bit of drive from here. Nothing that wild. Some EQ, just kind of taking out some of those harsh mids. And then some delay, chorus, and reverb. And it's this nice slappy little lick. And then we have that same lap steel setting from earlier that's panned out to the right. And as you can tell in this song and in a lot of the country references I was using, they do a lot of stacking and layering and panning out to the sides, but there's also a lot of differentiation between the left and the right. So I don't have to double track this Western lead. I don't have to track this lap steel twice. I have my main elements double tracked and panned out, but the rest of them, I kind of want to have special things happening on each side. So here's what it sounds like now. I'm going to go ahead and find a couple more like little lap steel samples to add in there. I think it might help. Here's one that I found. They're all kind of from the Nathan Chapman library. So if you're trying to make this, I guess go on Splice and find that. It's really nice texturally layered over everything. That's feeling pretty good for a pre-chorus. Let's go ahead and get the drums for the chorus working. I think for this, we're doing 4 on the floor kick and just snare on the 2 and 4, just to kind of give us a driving rhythm. Here is our chorus drums. As you can see, kick and snare, 2 and 4. Very, very simple. Then we just have crashes and some alt crashes over here just to kind of drive the rhythm. This is about as simple as you can get. So that's feeling pretty good. Let's go ahead and just lay the bassline melody. I think we're going to follow the verse chord progression, and I kind of want to change the guitars a little bit, but let's go ahead and add the bass. For the chorus, we're actually going to swap from the palm mute bass to this. And it's going to kind of follow like a dun 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 strumming pattern. I think that's what we're going to do on the guitar as well. So let's go ahead and track up those chords on acoustic. I think what it's basically going to be is basically a CAD or a... What would that be? We're on the second capo, so basically just like a CAD 9, I believe. G add 9. And then... What are we doing? We're doing... There we go. And as far as coming up with these chords, it's all by ear. I'm not like a big music theory guy. So that'll work. We're going to double track that. So here is our acoustic strums for the chorus. Just filling out the mids a little bit there. But tracking wise, it sounded great. We just double tracked it. I will say I went ahead and tracked up. I had copied and pasted the verse riff. I wanted to play around with that and do something a little bit different. So what we're doing now is closer to this. Instead of just straight arpeggiating. So it's the same chords, it's just doing a slightly different riff. With the layered guitar. And then while I had the acoustic out, I just kind of had this like acoustic slappy little lead. Almost sounds like a fiddle. Again, this MBSI is really what I used on all the acoustics. This thing, I'm telling y'all, go demo this today. I think Maple Leaf literally just did it, like right now. It's basically the console that they used on Hotel California and Saturday Night Fever and like a billion other multi-platinum, if not diamond records from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. This thing is sick for acoustic guitars and drums. Then we're just filtering it out a little bit with some EQ, adding some Echo Boy, and adding some reverb. That's my dry tone. So we're getting a pretty good signal on the way in. Now what I want to do is track up these acoustic guitars, basically what that's doing with the strums. I want to do that on some crunchy kind of electric guitar. Here we go. This is just our electric guitar from the verse that we use for the palm mutes, and I'm just playing this open. And I know what you're thinking, the tone sounds so bad in solo, and I tweaked it for about 5 minutes off camera and then realized, let's just pop it in the mix. And to be honest, the worse it sounded in solo, the better it sounded in a mix, and vice versa. When it sounded great in solo, it was not sitting at all. And then I just went ahead and duplicated that. Played that on my Strat as well to kind of layer with the acoustic. And now we go into this chorus, we have some little thwacks. Let's go ahead and get a little lap steel going for like a counter melody. Here we go. So that feels pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and start writing some lyrics and vocals now. So we just kind of have to get the vibe first. Let's do. Alright, I'm gonna put some lyrics to that and then track up some vocals. Let's move on to this little pre-chorus. Let's do melody first. I kind of want to do something a little bit faster. Alright, so let's write these out. Alright, let's do you fooled me once, but I let you fool me twice. Alright. You fool me once, but I let you fool me twice. I give anything. Alright, here's what we ended up for the verse. You fooled me once, but I let you fool me twice. Swear that I'd do anything to go back to that night. Down on my knees, I'm begging, baby, please. Left me on the hook and I took the bait. Oh, I had this. I didn't like it when I was singing along. Alright, let's move on to the pre-chorus. Alright, let's do I keep running back to the bottle, thinking you'll come home by tomorrow. Let's throw in another country little Mad Lib. Let's do thought I saw your pink Silverado pulling up, but I did it, but I know it's the liquor hitting me. I keep running back to the bottle, thinking you'll come home by tomorrow. Thought I saw your pink Silverado pulling up, put it down, but I know it's the liquor hitting me. Let's do sipping, Jack and Bud and some Jimmy Bean. Bringing up all the goddamn memories ahead of us. All right, so let's try that. I keep running back to the bottle, thinking you'll come home by tomorrow. Thought I saw your pink Silverado pulling up, but I know it's the liquor hitting me. Spilling Jack and Bud and some Jimmy Bean. Bringing up all the goddamn memories ahead of us. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and write the chorus and just go ahead and get vocals tracked so we have some time. I went ahead and tracked all the vocals so we have everything right here. So for the verse, we're actually gonna do a triple track lead. Let me show you what this vocal sounding like with nothing on it. Vocal chain is Loudon Audio Eden into Newton channel strip, 1176 Rev D from AudioScape, Opto compressor from AudioScape. Here's what it sounds like. You fool me once, but I'd let you fool me twice. A little bit of EQ, compression, and de-essing, some sends. You fool me once, but I'd let you fool me twice. Swear that I'd do anything to go back to that night. We're going to go ahead and layer that left and right vocal as well, just to kind of thicken it.
You fooled me once, but I'd let you fool me twice. Swear that I'd do anything to go back to that night.
So we're kind of doing that throughout the verses. Once we get to this pre-chorus, I keep running back to the bottle, I am adding a harmony.
I keep running back to the bottle, thinking you'll come home by tomorrow. Thought I saw your pink Silverado pulling up. But I know it's the liquor hitting me, sipping Jack and Bud and some Jimmy Beam, bringing up all the goddamn memories ahead of us.
In terms of vocal production, there's not much happening. It's literally just the chain that I showed you here. It's a plate reverb, a room reverb, and a quarter note delay. And that is like legitimately it. It is by far the most simple vocal production we've had on the channel for How to Make in forever. In the chorus, we do layer this up a lot. We have the lead, we have a lead dub for the left and a lead dub for the right. We have a consistent pedaling harmony for the left and right that just kind of sits up here.
When we fell in love, spending summers in my truck.
That is panned out 67% left and right. And then we have a kind of floating harmony that's about 80% left and right.
When we fell in love, spending summers in my truck, driving down to Alabama for the weekend.
So all together.
When we fell in love, spending summers in my truck, driving down to Alabama for the weekend.
So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and throw on my mix bus settings. Here's what we're doing on the mix bus. I'm just using Gold Clip to basically clip some of the kicks and snares. And then I'm just using VBC Red to do a little bit of compression. Actually, like a good bit, like 3 dB of compression on the bus. And then mix head just to give me a little bit of saturation. I actually don't need Saturn. I can turn that off. Lin B, normally I don't have this really tone shaping. I just have this catching things. But I realized that a lot of country is not nearly as like low end and sub heavy as I produce and mix. So I took the subs and the low end down a little bit, boosted those mids, and then really just have Pro L2 doing a little bit of boosting. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you everything. That should be every element. What I did do for the structure is I actually copy and pasted this guitar over here and just added a little RC20 just so there's something to give us an intro. Then we go into an acoustic version of the hook, and then we go into our verse where vocals are, then the pre-chorus with vocals, and the hook with vocals. So let's go ahead and listen. This should be everything all at once.
But I'd let you fool me twice. Swear that I'd do anything to go back to that night. Down on my knees, I'm begging, baby, please. Left me on the hook and I took the bait. I keep running back to the bottle, thinking you'll come home by tomorrow. Thought I saw your pink Silverado pulling up. But I know it's the liquor hitting me, sipping Jack and Bud and some Jimmy Beam, bringing up all the goddamn memories ahead of us. They take me back to when we fell in love, spending summers in my truck, driving down to Alabama for the weekend. Met my family at the lake, saying that you couldn't wait. You were diving all the way into the deep end. So tell me what happened next. Next thing I know is that you left. I pinned my heart up on my sleeve and you tore it. Was everything you said a lie? Was I just another guy? Were there a million little signs I was ignoring? You left without a warning.
Then you go into a verse 2, pre-chorus 2, chorus 2, bridge, but that's pretty much it. So essentially it comes down to acoustic guitar, electric guitar, layer up everything, have some counter melodies, big bass, super, super punchy drums, and then just stack up your vocals. This is a really simple arrangement, actually. It's like strummed acoustic guitar, acoustic riff, counter melody, layer acoustic with electric, and then the bass is like super, super standard. Drums are super simple. So hopefully this video helped. If you like this, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what artists you want to see us make a video like in the near future. And if you want to support us, you can head over to makepopmusic.com. We have sample packs, preset packs, MIDI packs. We have a start to finish production course. We actually do a similar song in the style of like indie pop and alternative. It definitely leans a little bit more like Clairo, Boy Genius, but we use real drums, we use real guitar, real bass. So go check that out if you want to see something like this, but that takes 16 hours in real time. Other than that, let me know if you have any questions down in the comments down below. I really, really appreciate you watching it. And I'll see you super soon with much more content. But until then, much love. Peace.